What if I told you? The most extraordinary object in the known universe is not a black hole, a galaxy, or a distant planet, but the world beneath your feet right now. Out of everything humanity has discovered in the universe so far, billions of stars, distant galaxies, frozen moons, burning planets, black holes, and endless cosmic darkness, there is still only one known world, where complex life exists naturally, Earth. That single fact alone makes this planet feel almost miraculous, because when humans truly look at what is required for life to survive, they begin realizing how incredibly rare and fragile Earth's balance actually is. Life does not appear randomly everywhere. It depends on countless conditions working together with extraordinary precision. And Earth exists inside that perfect balance. The planet orbits the sun at just the right distance for temperatures to allow liquid water to exist. Habitable zone, a right arrow, liquid and water too close to the sun, and Earth could become a burning wasteland where oceans evaporate. Too far away and the planet could freeze into permanent ice. But somehow, Earth exists within a narrow region scientists call the habitable zone, a place where life became possible, and that is only the beginning. Earth also possesses an atmosphere carefully balanced with gases necessary for life. Oxygen supports complex organisms. Carbon dioxide helps regulate temperature and supports plant life. The atmosphere protects the planet from harmful radiation and burns up many dangerous objects before they reach the surface. Without this invisible protective layer, life on Earth would be exposed directly to the harshness of space. Even gravity plays a critical role. Earth's gravity is strong enough to hold the atmosphere and oceans in place, yet not so strong that life becomes impossible. Fe, Gefrak Mwam Tu or Du. The planet's magnetic field also protects Earth from dangerous solar radiation coming from the sun. Deep inside the Earth, movement within the molten core generates this invisible shield surrounding the planet. Humanity survives beneath protections most people never even think about. And then there is water, perhaps the most extraordinary ingredient of all. Earth is filled with oceans, rivers, clouds, rain, and ice. Water shapes climate, supports ecosystems, transports nutrients, and makes biological life possible. Scientists searching distant planets for signs of life often begin with one question first. Is there water? Because without water, life as humans understand it becomes almost impossible. And yet Earth contains it in astonishing abundance. Forests produce oxygen. Oceans regulate temperature. Ecosystems recycle nutrients. Tiny microorganisms maintain environmental balance silently every second. The planet behaves almost like a living system where countless parts work together continuously to sustain life. And perhaps the most incredible part is that humans often take all of this for granted. People wake up under breathable air without thinking about it. They drink water casually. They walk safely beneath an atmosphere protecting them from the vacuum of space. Humanity lives inside a fragile cosmic balance while barely noticing how extraordinary it truly is. Because from space, Earth is just a small blue world suspended in darkness. A thin atmosphere surrounds it. Clouds move across its surface. Oceans reflect sunlight into space. And somewhere on that tiny planet, consciousness emerged. Humans think, dream, love, build civilizations, ask questions about the universe. All because Earth provided conditions where life could survive long enough to evolve into awareness. That realization changes perspective completely, because Earth is not just a planet. It is the only known home of life in an enormous universe where most places appear silent, empty, frozen, or deadly. And perhaps that is what makes Earth feel so precious. A small world balanced perfectly between countless cosmic forces. Quietly carrying oceans, forests, ecosystems, and human consciousness through the darkness of space, reminding humanity that life itself may be one of the rarest miracles in the universe. From the surface, Earth often feels calm and stable. People wake up, walk through cities, cross oceans, build homes, and live their lives believing the ground beneath them is permanent and unmoving. The sky appears steady. Mountains look eternal. The planet feels solid and predictable. But beneath that peaceful appearance, Earth is constantly in motion. In reality, humans are living on a giant sphere racing through space at incredible speed, while powerful natural forces operate beneath their feet every second. Right now, Earth is rotating on its axis fast enough that people near the equator are moving through space at over 1,600 kilometers per hour. Rotation, naprox, 1670 ts, kilometer h, and at the same time, the planet is orbiting around the Sun at approximately 107,000 kilometers per hour. Dangan orbit, naprox, 107,000 rear. km/h. Humanity is traveling through the universe constantly without even feeling it. That alone feels almost unreal. Because daily life creates the illusion of stillness, but Earth is never truly still. The planet spins, moves, shifts, and changes continuously while carrying oceans, continents, ecosystems, and human civilization through space. And beneath the surface, the Earth itself is alive with activity. The crust humans stand on is not one solid, unchanging shell. It is broken into enormous tectonic plates slowly moving across the planet over millions of years. These movements create earthquakes, volcanoes, and mountain ranges. Entire continents drift gradually over time. Plating. Tectonics cause right arrow earthquakes, plus volcanoes, plus mountains. The Himalayas continue rising because tectonic plates are still colliding beneath them. Volcanoes erupt because molten rock deep inside Earth pushes upward under immense pressure. Earthquakes occur when stress built within the crust suddenly releases enormous energy. The ground beneath humanity is far less stable than it appears. And deep below, the crust lies Earth's mantle, a massive layer of slowly moving hot rock extending thousands of kilometers downward. Beneath that exists the outer core, made mostly of liquid iron and nickel, moving constantly under extreme temperatures and pressure. This movement generates Earth's magnetic field, an invisible shield protecting the planet from dangerous solar radiation coming from space. Without it, Earth would become far more hostile to life. Even the oceans are constantly moving. Massive currents circulate heat across the planet, influencing climate and weather systems worldwide. Winds move through the atmosphere. Storms form over warm oceans. Ice melts and reforms. Rain cycles continuously through the environment. Earth behaves like a dynamic living system in constant motion, and perhaps the most extraordinary part is that all of this happens while humanity continues. Daily life almost unaware. People focus on routines, schedules, and personal concerns while standing on a planet moving through space at astonishing speed above. Molten layers of rock and metal powerful enough to reshape continents. That perspective changes how Earth feels emotionally, because the planet is not simply a passive place. Humans live on. It is an active cosmic world filled with energy, motion, pressure, gravity, heat, and invisible forces operating every second. And despite all this movement, Earth maintains an incredible balance, allowing life to survive. Oceans remain stable. Atmospheres remain breathable. Gravity holds everything together while the planet races through the darkness of space. That balance feels almost miraculous, a world constantly moving through the universe, powered by enormous natural forces beneath its surface, quietly carrying humanity across space while maintaining the fragile conditions necessary for life itself to continue. Earth is often described as a planet, a world, or a place where life exists. But when scientists study it deeply, something fascinating becomes clear. Earth behaves less like a lifeless rock floating through space, and more like a gigantic interconnected system where oceans, forests, atmosphere, weather, and living organisms all work together continuously to maintain the conditions necessary for life. Almost like a living world, every part of Earth affects another part. The oceans regulate temperature by absorbing and distributing heat across the planet. Forests produce oxygen and absorb carbon dioxide. Clouds move water through the atmosphere. Tiny microorganisms recycle nutrients beneath the soil and inside the oceans. Even invisible bacteria play critical roles in maintaining balance within ecosystems. Life on Earth survives because countless systems operate together silently every second, and most humans never notice it. People breathe air without thinking about how perfectly balanced the atmosphere must remain for complex life to survive. Too much carbon dioxide and temperatures rise dangerously. Too little oxygen, and advanced life becomes impossible. Photosynthesis and right arrow O2. Energy plants and forests quietly maintain part of this balance through photosynthesis, producing oxygen that humans and animals depend on constantly. The Amazon rainforest alone influences weather and climate across huge regions of Earth. Meanwhile, oceans act like enormous climate stabilizers. They absorb heat from the sun, transport energy through currents, and help regulate temperatures globally. Without oceans, Earth's climate could become far more extreme and unstable. And beneath the surface of the oceans exists an entire hidden world supporting life on the planet. Tiny plankton drifting through seawater produce a large percentage of Earth's oxygen. Coral reefs support massive ecosystems filled with marine life. Deep ocean currents move nutrients and energy across vast distances. The oceans are not just water. They are part of Earth's life support system. Even the atmosphere itself behaves dynamically. Winds circulate heat around the planet. Rain cycles transport fresh water across continents. Storm systems redistribute energy continuously. Everything connects. And perhaps the most astonishing part is how delicate this balance truly is. A small change in temperature can affect ecosystems globally. Shifts in ocean currents can alter climate patterns. Deforestation changes atmospheric balance. Species disappearing from ecosystems can disrupt entire food chains. Earth systems depend on stability, and yet, despite this fragility, the planet has maintained conditions suitable for life for billions of years. Through asteroid impacts, volcanic eruptions, ice ages, and mass extinctions, Earth continued adapting and recovering. That resilience feels extraordinary. But humans are also part of this system now. Civilization often behaves as though humanity exists separately from nature. But that is an illusion. Humans depend completely on Earth's ecosystems. Food, water, breathable air, climate stability, all come from natural systems operating silently around the planet. Without them, civilization collapses, and maybe that is why Earth feels so different from other worlds humans observe in space. Most planets appear silent, frozen, empty, or hostile, but Earth moves with life. Forests grow. Oceans breathe with tides and currents. Clouds shift across the sky. Animals migrate. Ecosystems evolve. The planet feels alive because billions of living systems interact together continuously. And perhaps humans forget this because modern life creates distance from nature. Cities, technology, and routines make people feel disconnected from the planet itself. But beneath every building, road, and civilization, Earth systems continue operating quietly. Oceans still regulate climate. Forests still produce oxygen. Rain still falls. Life still depends on balance. A living world of oceans, forests, atmosphere, and ecosystems working together in silence, quietly sustaining every breath humanity takes. Reminding Earth that life survives not because of human control, but because the planet itself continues maintaining the fragile balance that makes existence possible. Human civilization often behaves as though it has conquered Earth. Cities rise into the sky. Technology spreads across the planet. Humans build machines powerful enough to cross oceans, fly through the atmosphere, and even leave the planet temporarily. From the perspective of modern civilization, humanity appears dominant. But beneath all of that progress exists a truth many people forget. Human beings are completely dependent on Earth. Every breath humans take comes from the atmosphere of this planet. Every drop of water, every source of food, every natural resource, every ecosystem supporting civilization exists because Earth continues maintaining the fragile conditions necessary for life. Without the planet's balance, human civilization cannot survive. And yet, despite this dependence, humanity continues damaging the very systems keeping it alive. Forests disappear every day through deforestation. Oceans become polluted with plastic and chemicals. Species vanish from ecosystems at alarming rates. Air pollution spreads across cities. Climate systems begin changing because of increasing greenhouse gases trapped within the atmosphere. CO2 U-Paro, right arrow global. Temperature U-Paro. The same industrial progress that allowed civilization to grow is also affecting Earth's environmental balance, and perhaps what makes this situation so dangerous is how invisible many of these changes feel during normal daily life. People still wake up under blue skies. Cities continue functioning. Technology continues advancing. So humanity often assumes the planet will always remain stable no matter what happens. But Earth's systems are delicate. A changing climate affects oceans, weather patterns, agriculture, water supplies, and ecosystems worldwide. ice sheets melt. Sea levels rise gradually. Extreme weather becomes more common in many regions. Nature responds to imbalance, and humans are not separate from those consequences, because civilization depends entirely on environmental stability. Crops require predictable seasons. Water systems depend on healthy ecosystems. Human health depends on clean air and stable climates. Even economies rely heavily on Earth's natural systems functioning properly. Humanity cannot escape its dependence on the planet, and perhaps that realization feels uncomfortable because modern civilization often creates the illusion of independence. Technology makes humans feel powerful, but no machine can replace Earth's oceans, atmosphere, forests, or ecosystems completely. There is no backup planet waiting for humanity. Earth is home, and despite everything humans have built, civilization still remains fragile beneath the forces of nature. Earthquakes, hurricanes, droughts, floods, volcanic eruptions, and changing climates continue reminding humanity that the planet itself ultimately controls the conditions for survival. The planet existed billions of years before human civilization appeared, and it could continue existing long after modern civilization disappears. That perspective changes the way humans should see Earth, because the environment is not simply scenery surrounding civilization. It is the foundation. Beneath civilization itself, every ecosystem destroyed weakens the balance supporting life. Every polluted ocean affects planetary systems. Every disappearing forest changes atmospheric conditions. Humanity is influencing a world far more interconnected than people once understood. And perhaps the most powerful realization is this: humans are not protecting Earth for the sake of the planet alone. They are protecting the conditions that allow humanity itself to survive. Because Earth will continue existing in some form, regardless of civilization. The real question is whether humans can maintain the fragile balance necessary for life before irreversible damage spreads too far. That responsibility belongs to every generation. A fragile world of oceans, forests, atmosphere, and ecosystems silently sustaining human civilization, while humanity slowly changes the very balance keeping it alive, reminding the world that the future of civilization depends entirely on the health of the planet beneath its feet. Humanity often speaks about exploring the universe, discovering distant planets, and unlocking the secrets of space. But perhaps the most surprising truth is this: humans still do not fully understand their own planet. Earth may feel familiar because people live on it every day, but beneath its oceans, inside its core, and within its climate systems exist mysteries science is still trying to solve. The deeper humans study the planet, the more they realize how much remains unknown. Take the oceans. For example, Earth's oceans cover most of the planet's surface, yet large parts of the deep ocean remain unexplored even today. Scientists know more about some distant regions of space than they do about certain areas beneath Earth's oceans. That sounds unbelievable, but it is true, because the deep sea is one of the harshest environments on the planet. Crushing pressure, freezing darkness, and enormous depth make exploration extremely difficult. Entire ecosystems exist there without sunlight, surviving around volcanic vents deep beneath the ocean floor. Creatures, unlike anything humans imagined, continue being discovered in the darkness, and perhaps even more. Astonishing is the possibility that unknown species still exist hidden beneath the oceans, right? Now, Earth still contains unexplored worlds. Then, there is the mystery beneath humanity's feet. The Earth's core remains impossible to observe directly because temperatures and pressures deep inside the planet are beyond anything humans can survive. Scientists understand its structure mostly through indirect evidence, such as seismic waves traveling through Earth during earthquakes. Seismic waves, right arrow, Earth core. Interior, they believe Earth contains a solid inner core surrounded by a liquid outer core, generating the planet's magnetic field. But many details remain uncertain. Even the ground beneath civilization still holds unanswered questions. And then there are Earth's climate systems, incredibly complex interactions between atmosphere, oceans, ice, forests, sunlight, and planetary motion. Scientists continue studying how these systems influence each other because even small changes can produce enormous global effects. The climate is not controlled by one simple factor. It is an interconnected planetary system far more complicated than most people realize. Earth's history itself also remains partly mysterious. Scientists continue debating exactly how life first emerged on the planet billions of years ago. They study ancient rocks, fossils, and chemical traces, searching for clues about the origins of life and early Earth. How did lifeless chemistry become living organisms? How did simple cells evolve into intelligent, conscious beings? No one fully knows, and perhaps that is what makes Earth so fascinating emotionally as well as scientifically. Because despite being humanity's home, the planet still feels partly mysterious. Humans walk across its surface every day while hidden processes continue operating deep underground, beneath oceans, and within the atmosphere. Earth is not fully understood, and maybe it never will be completely, because every discovery often creates even more questions. Scientists uncover new species, strange geological activity, unusual climate behavior, and ancient evidence rewriting previous assumptions about the planet. The more humanity learns, the more mystery appears. That realization creates humility. People often imagine science as something that has already explained everything important. But Earth itself proves the opposite. Humanity is still exploring its own world, still discovering hidden ecosystems, still trying to understand the forces shaping climate, geology, oceans, and life itself. And perhaps that endless mystery is part of what makes Earth feel alive. A planet filled with hidden oceans, invisible forces, ancient mysteries, and unanswered questions, quietly reminding humanity that even after centuries of science and exploration, humans still do not fully understand the world beneath their own feet. When humans look into space, they often search for something extraordinary: distant galaxies, alien worlds, black holes, or mysterious cosmic phenomena. People imagine the universe as the place where wonder exists. But perhaps the greatest wonder humanity has ever known has been beneath its feet the entire time: Earth itself. Because in the endless darkness of the universe, Earth appears almost impossible. A tiny blue world carrying oceans, forests, weather, ecosystems, and conscious life through the silence of space. And the deeper people think about it, the more fragile and extraordinary it begins to feel. Earth is small compared to the universe. The planet orbits one ordinary star called the Sun. The Sun itself exists inside the Milky Way galaxy among hundreds of billions of other stars. And the Milky Way is only one galaxy among countless others spread across cosmic distances beyond imagination. Earth subset, Solar System on subset Milky Way subset universe. From the perspective of the universe, humanity becomes almost invisible. Entire civilizations, wars, achievements, and human history itself occupy only a tiny moment on one small planet inside an unimaginably vast cosmos. And yet, despite this smallness, Earth remains extraordinary. Because as far as humans currently know, this tiny world is the only place where conscious life exists. Somewhere on this planet, matter organized itself into living organisms. Life evolved over billions of years. Consciousness emerged. Human beings began asking questions about existence itself. The universe became aware enough to observe itself through life on Earth. That realization changes everything emotionally. Because suddenly, Earth no longer feels ordinary. It becomes incredibly precious, a fragile island of life surrounded by endless cosmic darkness. And perhaps what makes life feel even more meaningful is its fragility. Earth's balance is delicate. The atmosphere protecting life is thin compared to the size of the planet. Ecosystems depend on stability. Oceans regulate climate carefully. Countless conditions work together continuously to make survival possible. A small disruption in cosmic balance could change everything. An asteroid impact, extreme climate shifts, solar changes, geological disasters. Humanity exists within a fragile system where life continues only because countless forces remain balanced at the same time. That fragility makes existence valuable, because life is not guaranteed. Every sunrise, every breath, every living ecosystem on Earth exists because this planet continues maintaining conditions suitable for life against the harshness of the universe surrounding it. And despite all human conflict, division and struggle, every person alive shares the same world. Every human being in history has lived beneath the same atmosphere, looked at the same sky, and depended on the same fragile planet for survival. Earth unites humanity whether people realize it or not. And perhaps that is the deepest lesson Earth teaches. Not simply that humans are small, but that life itself may be incredibly rare and precious within the universe. Because in all the darkness, silence and emptiness humans have observed across space, Earth still glows with oceans, clouds, forests, weather, animals, music, thought, emotion, memory, and consciousness. A tiny world carrying life through an endless universe, quietly reminding humanity that existence itself may be one of the rarest and most beautiful things the cosmos has ever created. And maybe the greatest mystery of Earth is how a tiny planet lost in infinite darkness became a world capable of life, consciousness, and wonder.